gala industry being given prominence on the island of Abaco. I'm Joan David Cole. I'll tell you more about it in the story outside.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, members of the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival Commission are still celebrating the successful launch of the mega cultural festival on Grand Bahama this past weekend. While Bahamians turned out in large numbers, some feel they have been shortchanged and are asking why they were allowed to purchase costumes if they were not going to be used at the weekend's event. Committee members are responding to those concerns. With thousands of persons turning up on Tino Beach for the historic kickoff to Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival, there has been some misunderstanding as to whether or not costumes purchased should have been worn at the two-day event. Spokesperson for the Grand Bahama Committee, Yolanda Hanna, says this weekend was to highlight the Music Masters concert and culture.
The highlight of this weekend was the Music Masters semi-final concert. 2 days of great Bahamian entertainment by 17 artists, original Bahamian music. In addition to that, it was the Junkanoo Carnival beach party, and we had great beach activities. And so this weekend it was about arts and entertainment and culture. Junkanoo Carnival, presented by BTC, happens in New Providence, May 7th through 9th. That's when you need your road fever costumes. And that's what the Carnival Company is here producing right now.
She notes that there were a few pieces sold for the weekend event.
We didn't get a lot of costume sales for this weekend. And granted, you didn't need it for this weekend. The costumes are primarily for Road Fever. Road Fever happens in Nassau May 7th. And so, again, if you had the costume and you wanted to wear it, fine. We actually had some tourists that came to the island, some visitors that came internationally. They purchased a few pieces.
Road Fever will take place in the nation's capital, and local Junkanooers are at the Carnival Center working hard to produce costumes for the mega event. Production manager Thomas Curry says they are pleased with the level and pace of the production.
I have the 18 behind me, one person from each Junkanoo group, the highest craft person from each group, and they're doing a tremendous job right now. Well, sometimes we do 12 hours, sometimes 18 hours, but everything is looking up. We are ready to represent Grand Bahama to the fullest extent, and everything is going well.
Hannah says Grand Bahama is expected to be well represented under the theme The Grand Life during Road Fever. She says persons interested in pieces should visit the Carnival office at the Region Center.
Some sales have been slow, but we're not worried about that. We know in typical Bahamian fashion, few persons might be waiting for the last minute. And also because Road Fever is not until May 9th, you still have time. And so come by, take a look at the costumes. You can fit them right here. The costumes are ready. Minor adjustments can be done here in terms of the headpiece, waistbands. The Junkanooers are doing a fantastic job in the production house. So you can come by, you can select your pieces. If you want the bathing suit bottom, if you want tights, we have those. But if you want to wear the pieces with, a t-shirt or just some shorts or jeans, just come and get your pieces.
Now, while organizers of the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival are boasting of a successful launch on Grand Bahama this past weekend, a local artist is praising stakeholders for giving young budding artists a platform to showcase their talent to the world. Timmy Tim Fire Forbes, who recently produced the Carnival song, was one of the special performers.
I said thanks so that because, my talent is being exposed and people are seeing who Tim Fire is rather than just hearing me on the radio. I want to thank the Prime Minister for arranging all of this, for this Junkanoo Carnival thing. And I want to thank Miss Ginger Moxie, thank you so much, And I want to thank Junkanoo Carnival Committee. And I want to thank BTC, and everybody that was supporting this. And I want to thank the whole of the Bahamas.
Well, as the government moves to reduce the annual $100 million food import bill, a major campaign has been launched to stimulate greater interest in the field of agriculture. Abaco is the latest island to promote this national initiative. Officials there hosted a two-day event this past weekend. Our Joan Davis Roll was there.
Abaconians with reason to celebrate as Abaco has gone green. Abaco's Agribusiness Expo showcasing the best of the Bahamas, from Bahamian music to scrumptious Bahamian food from vendors like Zenovia's Bahamian Delicacies, and the thriving farming, agriculture, arts and craft and livestock from a vibrant husbandry sector. All stakeholders coming together to make the third annual event a huge success. Member of Parliament for North Abaco and Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Renato Curry.
I really want to thank the government for putting on these numbers of expos throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Abaco is one of those islands that have always been, when it comes to agriculture, always been mindful of the need to grow its own products. You check the history of Abaco, you'd find that the number of successful farmers have hailed from this island. Seeing this expo here today and seeing the number of talents we have through our people is very exciting for me. It shows that all is not lost, even with some of the younger generation taking part and learning about this agriculture and what we learned from our previous foreparents, how to now grow our own product. And so the awareness that the government is bringing to the nation at this time, I think, is very important.
The Abaco parliamentarian also boasting of the fact that the island is well on its way to producing crops of a different kind, the next generation of Bahamian farmers.
When you look at BAMC, as you would have heard, that BAMC is doing very well. We have a number of students from Abaco who's now attending BAMC school. So, you know, this generation, you're going to find that they're going to take the mantle and do exactly what the government is intending, which is to become self-sufficient farmers that can be productive for themselves and their island.
General Manager of the Abaco Department of Agriculture, Josefina Curry, thrilled about fulfilling that agency's mandate as they move to propel this multi-million-dollar industry to the next level.
Our theme is progressing towards food security, our food future, our Bahamas. What we're doing is trying to encourage persons to purchase locally. So with us displaying goods that are grown and sold here, we're able to get persons to know that this is what is here locally. This is how you can purchase. This is how you know that where your food comes from, and you don't have to import everything.
Agribusiness is said to be alive and well on the island of Abaco, and officials hope that their efforts will be duplicated on islands throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In Abaco, reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis Roll.
Well, a local business establishment facing an unfortunate situation, the Bahamian Brewery on Queens Highway has been identified by its man-in-the-boat mascot for 7 years, but this past weekend, that image was destroyed by fire. General Manager Don DeLahey says he got the disturbing news early Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, I was woken out of bed about 4:45 saying that our mascot was on fire. The first thing that I thought was there might have been an electrical short because we have lights shining on it, but nothing was electrical inside the boat. When I had got down here and saw what it had gone on, of course all the lights were still on, but the boat had been completely burnt down. It came to my, I kind of guessed that it was intentionally done. There was no electrical shortage or no lightning at all.
Now, he says the brewery has become a tourist attraction in the community, and this incident is troubling.
It was a big icon for the island. It was a landmark because a lot of people, when giving directions on Freeport, would use the man in the boat. Okay, you go to the man in the boat, you take a left or a right. A lot of tourists would also use it to take their pictures. Very, very disappointed that someone would go that low to burn it down. For what reason they would gain from it? If it was a prank, it was not a very nice prank, but it has been destroyed, and it's very depressing that that would happen here on the island.
Now, this matter is currently under investigation. Meantime, the Bahamian Brewery is in the process of having another mascot built by a local artist at a cost of around $7,000. Meantime, police on Grand Bahama searching for 22-year-old Lyndon Lee Johnson of number 94 Bonefish Street, Carnival Beach. Johnson is wanted on armed robbery charges. He is described as 6 feet 1 inch tall, 150 pounds with medium brown complexion and thin build. He is considered armed and extremely dangerous and should be approached with caution. Now, if you know the whereabouts of Lyndon Lee Johnson, 22-year-old Lyndon Lee Johnson, you're asked to contact the Central Detective Unit at 350-3106 through 12, 911-919, or call your nearest police station. And police are also on the hunt for 33-year-old Jermaine Mario Major of Pinders Point, Grand Bahama. He is wanted on housebreaking and stealing charges. Major is said to be about 6 feet 4 inches tall, 130 pounds, dark brown complexion, and thin build. Police say Major should be approached with caution. If you know the whereabouts of Jermaine Mario Major, you should pick up the phone and call the Lakaya Police Station at 373-1112, 374-3713, or the nearest police station. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight will continue right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Another group of young Bahamians are preparing to sign on to the Fresh Start program. This initiative helps young people to get the requisite training for potential business opportunities in the future. John Davis Roll has the details.
It's the flagship youth program of the Ministry of Youth, and on closing day, participants of the government's Fresh Start initiative were beaming with pride. The highly acclaimed Fresh Start program has given hundreds of youngsters just that, a fresh start. The first stop on Grand Bahama for the Director of Youth, K. Darren Turnquas, was the Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology, formerly Success Training College. There he reiterated some essential customer service nuts and bolts during the final day, emphasizing that one never gets a second chance to make a good first impression. Then it was on to the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institution, where the director had a personal encounter with some budding nail technicians, inspiring them to be the best that they can be.
When I walked in the room today to speak to those young people, I saw a transformation. And I think that speaks mountains, that when you can see a transformation in the faces of young people, that means that we're doing something right. The Prime Minister spoke about at the Summit of Americas that we have to provide some hope for these young people. And I think today Fresh Start has really provided a new hope, a new feeling of hope for these young people, especially after being skilled.
Turnquas says the facts show that the Fresh Start program is fulfilling its mandate.
In our last program, we had a conversion rate of 40%. Inside the program. So by the time the last day of the program ended, 40% of our participants were already employed.
Acting General Director of the Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology, Laverne Gardner, calling on corporate Grand Bahama to partner with the successful program, while training Kanisha Dorset challenge more young people to reach for the stars.
It is extremely important that we partner with all organizations, especially the governments. They're giving these students an opportunity to succeed, at least to get their foot in the door. And if we can offer something that's going to help make them more marketable, then that I believe that it is all of our responsibility to do exactly that.
Just go for it. You know, you can never have too many things under your belt, you know. Hair, nails, even if you want to do anything else, it's just something that you can do to help better yourself and push yourself forward. So when you go to people, you can say, hey, I'm an all-around, multi-talented person, and it really helps.
Joan Davis Rowe, ZNS Network News.
Well, Grand Bahama's debate team making a big impression in the nation's capital. The three-member team from the East Grand Bahama took on C.I. Gibson in New Providence for the championship. And when the dust settled in East Grand Bahama, they walked away the winners. Italia Hall has the story.
The East Grand Bahama District bringing home the trophy from the national debate competition. The debate was held in New Providence under the topic "Be It Resolved that Peer Pressure is More Beneficial Than Harmful," and it seeks to foster positive interaction among students.
Peer pressure is simply an excuse for wrongdoing when the perpetrator of an offense is held accountable. People deliberately choose to be involved in wrongdoing.
The three-member team from Grand Bahama Academy, Jack Hayward and Sunland Baptist, calls it a surreal experience.
For the competition, there was a lot of preparation, definitely a lot of research, a lot of meetings after afternoons and the nighttime before to make sure we're fully prepared to defend.
To see that I made it this far in the competition, it was really an amazing wow experience to say, wow, I really made it this far. And it was really amazing. It's a really growing experience for us, knowing how to develop our leadership skills, knowing how to be able to express ourselves effectively in order to defend the mood that we were discussing on.
We decided to take this win from Ms. Edgecombe, former Deputy Director of Education, who was always there to encourage us and ensure that we win.
Those who prepared the students for the competition are proud of this achievement as well.
A whole lot of work, a whole lot of research. And these three, they are truly awesome. They are very disciplined and they worked very hard. They are students who you can give instructions to go and do X, Y, Z, and they're not going to fail you.
This team is a dynamic team. They are so simple, unassuming, very humble, persuasive group, and they did work hard.
Coach Carol Bennett says she hopes that corporate Grand Bahama would get more involved with this competition.
Why can't the debate team have at least 4 sponsors? This is a youth group when we talk about the youth not performing. This is just one area. It can't all be sports. Sports can't get all the highlight and all the funds and the recognition. Please recognize the debate team each year when it comes around.
2 sensitive topics were the focus of discussion during the first annual Biggie Fest here on the island of Grand Bahama. Students who attended heard about the effects of bullying and first-hand testimony from a woman who claims she was delivered from homosexuality. During Biggie Fest, international speaker Rita Jones Dudley spoke to the students about many issues that they may be confronted with, in particular, the issue of homosexuality.
A lot of time, young person, you see them have feelings, emotion concerning their sexual orientation, and a lot of time they won't say anything to anyone because of the shame that it brings. So we're going to deal with that openly, where it won't put nobody on the spot. And then we're going to come to the fact of learning what Christ requires of us when it comes to our sexuality. And so we have to give a young person a chance to feel comfortable to express themselves when dealing with feelings in the inside that they don't understand. As adolescents, you never know who you are until you develop. And when you're dealing with hormones, it's a challenge.
She says bullying is another type of pressure that many students deal with.
Young people, that's why suicide is so rapid around the world when it comes to cyber bullying, when you have people doing things to you on the internet that your parents don't know about on social media. And then you also have young person that feels like they don't have an outlet to let it out. And we as evangelists, pastors, we as mentors, advisors, we need to have that ear to hear and just to listen, because sometimes if you make it where it's a non-judgmental zone, they'll feel more comfortable coming to you.
When it comes to homosexuality, she says she has a personal testimony and is giving this advice to young people.
God loves you. No matter what you're going through, no matter what the challenge is, God loves you. And he can deliver you from any circumstance, no matter what you're going through, because I'm a witness myself. God deliver people from homosexuality. I have been in that seat, and I used to be a stud. So I know if God delivered me out of the world, he can deliver you. And the only way to get healed from what you're feeling is to turn to God. God bless you.
Well, now it's time to ask the doctor. Here is Dr. Monique Pratt.
I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Pat from Freeport asks, I have a hard, painful area on the bottom of my big toe that gets worse when standing on my feet at work all day. What could this be? Pat, thank you for your question. What you seem to be describing is a callus. Calluses are thick, hardened areas of the skin that develop when your skin tries to protect itself against friction and pressure. If you are healthy, then you should only need to seek treatment for your callus if it is causing you severe pain. Prevention of calluses starts with your shoes. Take the time to get shoes that are properly fitted, as poorly fitting shoes can lead to calluses. Your shoes should not be snug but not too tight, and they should be wide enough to accommodate your feet. Ideally, you should also wear flat shoes, as heels put pressure on the ball of your foot, which can lead to callus formation. But if you are diabetic or if you have a condition that affects the circulation in your feet, do not attempt to treat or remove the callus on your own. Your feet should be examined by a physician or podiatrist because having diabetes or poor circulation in your feet can put you at risk of more serious complications. Remember, it's important to follow up with your physician if you have any concerns about your health. After all, your health is in your hands. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Everyone has a check on sports when we return.
Everybody, and welcome to Sports and Mercado Live One, the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival Festival. I had a number of activities for folks over there at Taino Beach, and tonight we've got one for you. It's called the Beach Olympics. Let's go to Sabrina Brown.
They say they were in it to win it. The Shockwavers of the Grand Bahama Health Services beat out 7 other teams and swept the first Beach Olympics held at the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival kickoff on Grand Bahama over the weekend. Today, the winners were presented with their medals and trophies. Beach Activities Director Jackie Roll.
We want to congratulate them. They participated in every event. They came prepared. They had, so much fun. Yes. They were out there cheering their teammates on. And they were just at it. And they said from day one that they were going to take home this beautiful trophy.
Grand Bahama Power was second and Cable Bahamas finished third. Roll said thank you to the community for the overwhelming support.
Corporate Bahamas, Grand Bahama, they responded, and they responded in a huge way. And the competition, the day itself was just filled with so much fun. Teams came out to win.
President of the GB3As, Kem Stewart, was responsible for scoring.
I must say that the competition was very keen, and because of the health services CEO's involvement really pulled it off, because it was stated in the rules and bylaws that each event that your CEO participates in, you would get bonus points. And because of that, you are victorious.
The Grand Bahama Special Olympics Committee was presented with a check for $2,000 from the Carnival Beach Olympics. Loretta Paris accepted the donation, noting that it will go a long way in helping to transport their athletes to various events.
Then I heard about this donation and the fact that we have to bus our athletes. This makes a whole, it puts a different perspective on what we are going to do in the next couple months. We don't have to worry right now about paying that bus driver.
And
about paying. We don't have